The rise in popularity of classic Adidas models over the last 2 years is undeniable. And in my opinion, the start of this trend can be traced back to this shoe right here, the original Wales Bonner and Adidas Samba, a beautiful luxury take on the model, which rightfully so got a lot of attention. Since then, I think it's fair to say that this collaboration has been one of the strongest in the sneaker world, with every iteration seemingly getting better and better. And I got the latest round of shoes right here. I'm excited to review these. Let's go. By the way, very quickly, make sure you're following me on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, and I'm posting pretty much daily outfits on there. Posting content every day, and it's also the best place to reach out to me, so make sure you're following me. So all of these shoes dropped on May the 21st. In total, there were 6 shoes as part of this drop, including 2 pairs of the Samba Millennium, not a very commonly seen model. I personally skipped both of those, didn't think they were as nice as the rest of the shoes in the drop, and also the retail price on those was very high at $250. And we also had 2 pairs of Sambas drop. One of them is the Wonder Clay Royal, I believe it's called. Then we also had this Desert and Wonder White colorway. These retail for $180, which is still a significant markup than what a normal Samba costs, which is around $100. And both of these super clean. We'll get into it. And I also picked up the Adidas SL76. There were 2 of them, and for me at least, these were the 2 shoes that I thought were the standouts from this round at least. And these also retail for $180. And compared to all of the previous Wales Bonner and Adidas drops, it seemed like this round was a bit easier to get. At least here in Europe, the bigger sizes of the Samba were sitting at least for a day at most retailers. And the SL76s, well, they're pretty much sitting everywhere right now in a full size run, so if you really wanted them, you can get them. But let me review the Samba first. Now, if you guys have been following me for the last couple of years, you know how much I love the Wales Bonner Adidas collection. Everything from the clothes to the shoes, I think nobody does better Adidas Sambas than Wales Bonner. Personally, I have owned every pair of Sambas that has dropped since the original green and cream one. Let's start off with the blue pair. Now, looking at the box, this is pretty much the same box we've gotten on all of the Wales Bonner pairs recently. It's a black box with some cream stripes on it. And on the inside of all of these sneakers, in fact, you get this very nice looking dust bag, which definitely seems to be Caribbean inspired. And getting into the shoes, the colorway on this, I'll admit, it's quite similar to the original green pair. It pretty much seems like they just switched out the green for the blue. So it is a matter of personal preference whether you like the blue or the green. The upper on this pair is made up of nylon once again. However, I will say the nylon on this pair does feel thicker than the nylon on the original. And that might actually end up being a good thing. It might end up boosting the durability of the shoe. If you look at my green pair, you can see it does look very creased and crumpled over time. This feels thicker, so maybe you won't see it as much. On the toe, you have that classic T shape, which is covered in suede, and it's a very nice, soft, hairy suede. You get the 3 stripes done in like a crocodile print here, and you also see that crocodile effect on the tongue of the shoe. Some other really nice details include the embroidery along the edge of the tongue and also on the heel, and you get this satin finish on the inner lining of the shoe. I really like the standard laces on this pair with that 2-tone look of blue and brown. All the laces have been exceptional on the Wales Bonner pairs, and just in case you wanted to switch them out, you do get a extra pair of cream laces. And you also get that Wales Bonner branding near the stripes of the shoe. And as always, you get this beautiful gum outsole bringing the shoe together. Also, this pair does have that shorter tongue. Now, a lot of people, the last few Wales Bonner collabs, that's been the biggest complaint. People are just not feeling that longer tongue that flaps over the shoe. With this pair, it's a return to that OG model with the shorter tongue. So maybe you guys have been finally waiting for a pair to come out with the shorter tongue. Well, now it's here. For sizing on these, so I did get them in my usual Adidas Samba size, which for me is to go a half size up from my true size. So I did get them in an 11.5, which is a size 46 in the EU. And as always, they fit perfect. Now, Adidas Sambas are pretty much the only Adidas shoe that I go up half a size in, because when I do get them in my true size, I do feel like my midfoot area is just kind of overlapping the midsole, and it is quite uncomfortable, which is why I go up half a size to get the perfect fit. It's still, I would admit, a bit long in the toe box, but it is much better for me to go up half a size than going with my true size. I would say definitely if you have wider feet, you want to consider going up half a size in these. But it's a really comfortable shoe because the upper is made out of nylon. It's way easier to just wear these on feet and you won't have to worry about breaking them in, unlike some of the other pairs. With the leather pairs, the break-in time is a bit annoying, but these are pretty comfy right out the box. I will save my overall opinion about the blue and brown pairs after I talk about the brown one, so let's get into this. So this Desert Wonder White pair, I would say these pairs are definitely a more muted colorway. There's not much contrast on there. The nylon is done in this desert color. The suede on the toe, now I'm not a suede expert by any means, but I can definitely feel that the suede on the brown pair is not as soft as the white one. Maybe that's just my pair though. I don't know if all the brown ones have this different suede, but the suede on here definitely feels a bit more coarse and not as soft. The tongue on this pair is done in like a darker shade of brown compared to the rest of the upper, which I find interesting. And what is actually quite unique about this colorway specifically is that this one has two different colors of embroidery on it. On the tongue you can see a black embroidery, and on the heel you have white embroidery. Absolutely love the exceptional laces on this pair again, but also of course this pair does come with cream laces if you want that instead. I actually think switching to cream on this one is not a bad idea, just to give this shoe a bit more contrast, which is what I think it kind of needs. And the sizing on these is the same, so once again that's a half size up. The good thing about both these Sambas compared to pretty much all of the previous Wales Bonner pairs is that they are very wearable, maybe the most wearable pairs to drop so far as part of this Wales Bonner collab, so you can get a lot of use out of them this summer. Now for my overall thoughts on both of these pairs, I have to say I was a bit disappointed in this round, mainly because every round of releases we've seen so far from Wales Bonner has been kind of like a progression of the collab. Each time there was a different theme, different materials. These however do not feel like that to me. It almost kind of feels like Adidas took a page out of Nike's book, where they will produce a lot of colorways of pretty much the same shoes just to capitalize on that demand. But don't get me wrong though, these are a beautiful looking shoe. Like honestly, from a looks perspective, this is like one of the best looking pairs to drop. And I know I'm sounding a bit selfish because I have copped the original green pair for retail, which is still a grail for a lot of people, and probably the prices on the green one are now pretty much out of reach. So to be able to get a very similar looking pair, it's great that Adidas actually dropped these for those of you who missed out on the OG greens. But I guess I'm just speaking from the point of view of someone who has copped all of the Wales Bonner pairs so far. I just found these a bit of a letdown. That can't be said however for the next pair that I'm reviewing, which is the SL76. The SL stands for super light. I picked up this yellow pair, which I'm calling either the Kill Bills or the Bumblebees or the Wiz Khalifas. I haven't decided yet, but I do just love the colorway on these. You can never go wrong with black and yellow in my opinion. I actually didn't know a whole lot about this model, the SL76. I own a pair of SL72s. If you are someone who likes low profile shoes, well, having this in hand, this might be the most low profile looking Adidas shoe that I have bought. Just look how low that ankle collar is. It also just seems like more of a slimmer shoe than the SL72, and it's a shoe that just looks fast on feet. It almost looks like you're wearing track shoes. The upper on this is made up of a really nice premium knit material, and also just have a look at the suede on this. Now that is some very hairy stuff right there. A lot hairier than the suede we saw on the Sambas. You can even see some bits of that suede show up on the laces. You get a leather tongue here done in black, and the same with the 3 stripes on the side of the shoe. More of that signature embroidery can be seen on the heel of the sneaker, along with the Adidas Trefoil logo looking really nice there, done in metallic gold. The midsole on the shoe seems to be painted yellow as well as white. As for sizing on these, I didn't really know what to get because on pictures it looked like a very narrow shoe, especially when you look at the midsole on here. Look how narrow this midsole is. However, I went with my true size in these because that's what I wear in the SL72, and I have to say it actually fits perfect. It might feel a little bit tight in the toe box area, but because the material on this is very soft and you're basically wearing like a knit material, it does stretch quite well in the toe box, so you're not going to feel too restricted. And as far as the midsole goes, my feet do feel like they're perfectly in place. It doesn't feel like half of my foot is hanging outside the midsole. At true to size, I will say there is a very tiny bit of heel slippage, so I definitely don't think you should be going up half a size here, but also I wouldn't go down half a size because they fit just about right in the toe box area, and I feel like a half size down, these are just going to be too tight. So my advice to you is just stick with your true size in these. And another thing I really like about this particular model is that I am absolutely positive that these these are gonna look amazing with shorts, which I can't wait to wear this summer. So yeah, it goes without saying, this pair easily my favorite out of the three. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the most recent Wales Bonner and Adidas collab. Of course, as always, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments of this video. Big congrats to all of you guys if you finally managed to cop a pair of these for retail. I know the Wales Bonner pairs have just seemed so elusive over the last few years, but thankfully they seem to have made these ones in bigger quantities. So let me know in the comments which of the pairs did you guys pick up, and if you're waiting to pick up even some other ones. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you guys so much for all of the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.